So I'm at the hospital and I'm getting ready to have an exploratory laparoscopy to check for endometritis, which is indicative if your BCL6 protein is elevated. The score for this BCL6 is 1.4 to 4, and they say mine came back at 4, the highest it can be. Have I had any symptoms or ever been diagnosed with endometriosis? No. The symptoms are that I've been told painful intercourse, painful cycles, abdominal discomfort, back discomfort. Of course, I've had several ultrasounds with IVF, 40 to 50 ultrasounds, and nothing ever showed or nothing was ever indicative that there was an issue. But my reproductive endocrinologist will not transfer my last frozen embryo until I either do the exploratory lap or 3 months of Depo-Lupron with another cocktail of medicines. So, not interested in doing the medicines. I'm 30 pounds heavier than I was because of all the medicines I took last year. And of course, I feel like a guilt trip was laid that if I didn't do this and if I miscarried, I would look back later and say, I wish I would have done this to make sure my uterus was clear. So my OR consent has a bunch of possibles on it. Possible this, possible that, possible this. It's starting with a hysteroscopy through my vagina, and if there's anything that needs to be removed, then they'll go in laparoscopically. So I'm sitting here right now. My cut time, my original surgery time was at 7:30. It was moved to 12:15. It's currently almost 12:30. So I'm sitting here looking like some cheap microwave popcorn that I snuck into the movie theater. See, I got a thermal blanket. And then I got my thermal bonnet. I'm sweating under my bonnet. I'm sweating in between my legs. I got paper towels down there. My feet sweating in these ugly socks. So, and I'm hungry. We had a good dinner yesterday. We had salmon, asparagus. I ate a little bit of rice. But we had a really, really good dinner. Was looking forward to some more salmon today. But what else? Oh, yeah, we had lobster tail too. So we had salmon, lobster tails, asparagus, and the rice. My husband cooked that. It was really good. We had 2 flavors of salmon. Or was it 3 flavors of salmon?
2 flavors.
Bourbon, and the other was garlic butter.
Garlic.
Okay.
Garlic butter.
Yeah, garlic butter salmon and bourbon salmon. So anyway, I'll let you guys know. I'm really interested to see what the results are going to be on the other end. I know my mother had a history of fibroids. So, if that's found, that won't be anything really surprising. But I just had some ultrasounds a couple months ago. I had literally one by my OBGYN, one at the fertility clinic, and then this doctor that's doing my surgeon is a pelvic health physician. So this is all that she does. So my reproductive endocrinologists are not doing this procedure, even though they are the ones that recommended it. They are not doing it. So I'll be curious to see what my OR report says, and of course I'll be sharing that as well. Hope everyone is doing well, and have a great day. Hi fam, so I'm back. It's 2 weeks later. I had my exploratory lap on May 10th, and today is May 24th, so I'm exactly 2 weeks post-op. Wow, that's all I can say. So surgery started behind. Initially, I was the first cut at 7:30. Then it got moved to 9:45. Then it got moved to 12:15. I ended up not going into the OR till almost 2 p.m. that day. So needless to say, I was nervous. I was sweating. Had eaten salmon the night before, which I don't know what made me do that. So I was worried about, what I ate coming out of me, salmon and asparagus. A great combo, right? So anyway, went into surgery, went to sleep in no time, woke up, was in a little bit of pain. I woke up a little before, I think 4 o'clock. So took me in at about 2 and got out about 4. When they got me to the post-op area, I was, like I said, I was in a little bit of pain. She asked me how it was, and I had told him before I would only ask for pain medication if it was a 7 out of 10 or greater. So it was about an 8. So I was like, yeah, I need some pain medication. As I tried to sit up, I could feel it. So when they did get me to the recovery area, or the area where they get you dressed to get you to go home, they brought my aunt and my husband in the room, and they were busting through the doors telling me everything looked perfect. Everything went well. And I didn't know what to think or what to say, because I was preparing myself for the worst. Like we said, we didn't know what was going to be there going in. I know I didn't want a hysterectomy if that had to happen, but simply by my BCL6 score being a 4, that's what I was told prior to all of this. That BCL6 panel that they do now, they usually do it on recurrent miscarriages, but they went ahead and did it on me because I only have the 1 embryo left for transfer. That was high, and it was indicative of endometritis / endometriosis. So I was prepared to hear that I had endometriosis, even though I had not had any symptoms whatsoever. So they said everything was okay. They only had to do 1 incision, which is through my belly button. I've never had an incision through my belly button. This is the first time I have had it, and I've had a gallbladder removal, appendectomy, hernia repair, but they never went through the belly button. They went around it, but never went actually through it. So I had the 1 incision. She said she ran 4 tests. I actually went for my post-op appointment on Wednesday, the 22nd. I was excited to get there because, of course, I was hearing for the first time myself what all she saw. And she said everything looked good. They did another SHG to run the dye through my fallopian tubes, and she said both of those were open. She actually took a biopsy sample just to make sure everything was okay. That came back negative. She said she did see a few small fibroids, but nothing that would interfere with me carrying a pregnancy, or none that were big enough to even really remove, she said. So it was pretty much an in and out, the 1 incision. I did want to go back to work the following week after the procedure, but that was because just me. That's because mentally I don't like to be still. I don't like to be not productive or not busy. But I did have some soreness, and then after she palpated around on the 22nd, my belly button and my stomach was sore the day after. But other than that, it was very simple. I did bleed straight from the May 10th until the 15th, and then the 16th my cycle started, which it was supposed to start on the 18th, so it did start some days early. So my cycle started on the 16th. It was a normal 3-day cycle, bright red blood, sorry TMI, but it was a normal cycle. After the procedure, I did have some clotting, not a whole lot, but I did have some clotting. And of course, they don't want you to have anything in your vagina for at least a week after surgery. So no sexual intercourse, no tampons. So I had to use pads. But so normal cycle afterwards. So at my visit on the 22nd, I did get my clearance to start my FET protocol. So pretty much I did contact my reproductive endocrinologist office, and to tell them that, you know, I was cleared. They said with the start of my next cycle, they would have me come in on day 2 or 3 of a full flow, and they would get me started on birth control. And they said the FET protocol would take about 6 weeks, which is FET, frozen embryo transfer, would take about 6 weeks. So my cycle is supposed to start on about June the 10th, so which means I'm about 10 weeks to transfer, if that makes any sense. So I'm excited, but I'm nervous because I only have the 1 embryo. I I'm going to do a video on my AMH, which I was really surprised with my AMH. And I actually asked to stem again, and they recommended against it. So I'll talk about that in my AMH video. So that's my update. We did not TTC for the month of May, which would have been our 6-month post vasectomy reversal. It's like the day that I was ovulating, we weren't in a good place. So we didn't have sexual intercourse during the time that I was ovulating for May. So we totally missed the window for May, in which I was hoping I would maybe be pregnant. And they would go in and do my pregnancy test pre-op and say, oh, you're pregnant. But that didn't happen. So anyway, you may hear him sneezing in the background like a damn giraffe, I swear. People tend to be more animated when they know you're doing videos. So anyway, so I will talk about my FET protocol once I get it. We're also going to do, like I said, the video on my AMH. And then I'm also, we are going to do a video on his T's that he had done, and as well his semen analysis and what that was like, getting the specimen and everything. So that's it for now. Pretty much I'm just in the wait right now to ovulate, that'll be one more try before we try our FET protocol. So I hope everyone is doing well. I've enjoyed seeing everyone's videos. You know, I look forward to seeing you guys, especially being out of work. You know, I was looking forward to seeing the videos, the births. We've had quite a few people deliver since I've been watching. Ayla and Caleb have delivered. Chelsea has delivered. Congratulations. Of course, Candace and Tim, they delivered some months ago, and Victory is beautiful. And then, of course, I'm watching Tanya and Ann and Simply Tanika, and also watching Chris and Joe. Love you guys. And so for all of us that are in that TTC journey, and, you know, let's keep the hope, and I'll keep you guys plugged in as to what's going on. Hope you guys have a great day. Bye.